Today is Monday, February 14. I'm Pastor Anthony, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from Luke chapter 6. Words of Jesus. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Luke chapter 6, verses 37 through 38. What things do you feel judgmental about these days? And be honest. What are the things that you condemn? There are lots of possibilities these days. I think of the truck protests, health restrictions and mandates, the government, various positions, identifications, and responses in the land of human sexuality, etc. It does not really matter which side of these matters any one of us might fall on. The question here is about when and where we pass judgment. And I would imagine that most of us do, somewhere. Every statement and action, public or private, falls under intense scrutiny these days, and many of us are given to the same. Not that this hasn't always been an issue, but it seems to me that social media has really accelerated our ability to feel righteous anger, even as it has improved our capacity for making judgments and condemnations from the comfort of our armchair. This is how the algorithms drive our engagement, after all. And while the digital world has probably also widened our portfolio of causes to give to, it would seem to have rather diminished our capacity for forgiveness somehow. The point, I suppose, is that in light of Jesus' words, many of us are not nearly reticent enough to pass judgment or condemnation. Perhaps because via social media, we might no longer face the people that we judge or condemn. Nor are we perhaps as ready as we ought to be to forgive someone else. Perhaps again because we don't need to face down the people who have hurt us via social media. We just block them. There are few consequences, like not many, for stating a bold opinion about matters we likely have very little business wading into, or at least so it seems. But Jesus seems to suggest that the more judgment, condemnation, lack of forgiveness, and gifts that we put out into the world, or withhold, as the case may be, the more judgmental, unforgiving, and scarcity-minded our world becomes, which certainly does come back to us in due course. And so Jesus calls us to something different, through a variation of his do unto others as you would have them do unto you principle. Who of us likes being judged? Not many, I would think. Then we also ought not be the ones to pass judgment, Jesus says. Who of us likes being condemned? Well, not many of us, I think. Then we also ought not be the ones to condemn others, Jesus says. However, should we fall in some way, which of us would not like to be extended the grace of forgiveness and restoration? Then we also ought to be people quick to offer that forgiveness and restoration to others. All of this speaks to a generosity of spirit, a giving that multiplies the gifts swirling around in this world, such that we too find ourselves recipients of the very goodness that we have sown. In doing this, we follow Jesus, who himself sowed a profoundly imbalanced amount of grace and forgiveness into our world, forgiving even those who crucified him, forgiving us all, in fact, through that act, condemning not the woman caught in adultery, and judging not before the appointed time, leaving wheat to grow right up alongside the weeds. In any case, as tomorrow's text will remind us, most of us plank-eyed people aren't righteous enough to bear the weight of dealing gently with our neighbor's sin anyway. Jesus is the judge who will mete out justice when the time is right, and this is a work best left to him. Giving and forgiveness though? These things have been given to us to do. And we already know the end result. A new creation bursting with life, where tables are spread and cups runneth over. Will this measure that will be measured out to you by Jesus inform how you measure out gifts and forgiveness to others today? As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.